Assalamu alaikum, shalom, hotep, peace, peace. Peace to the gods and earths. Assalamu Allah to the supreme angels, hotep, to the Pan-Africans worldwide. I'm your brother in the struggle, brother minister Alif Allah. And today, family, we're going to cover the messenger's message versus myths of milk. We're going to come from primarily two primary sources. Hadith Live books 1 and 2, 1967, 1972, by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Now, there is a lot of confusion, misunderstanding, misinterpretation, misrepresentation of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad regarding milk. In summary, in plain language, if you will, the short answer: does the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach the FOI and MGT in the Nation of Islam to drink milk? Answer: emphatically no. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm going to open up with a quote from the messenger himself in Hadith Live, book number 2 in 1972. The messenger teaches us on page 179. He says, and I quote, "The fact about it, milk is our first food. Milk from our mother's breast. It used to be, but pride has taken away from the baby the milk that belonged to him. The milk from his mother's milk is better than the milk of a beast or cow's milk for feeding the baby. I lost a little nephew once after my sister died. My mother tried to rear the baby on canned milk. We had no cow. That canned sweet milk constipated and killed that baby. So, when I married, I told my wife that I did not want her to try to rear her children on canned milk, and she agreed with me. She nursed her babies from her breast. A baby nursed from its mother's breast will love its mother more than the baby fed from the bottle. He loves the bottle. When you feed the baby cow and other milk when it is in its infancy like that, the baby will be easy to be led by the animal. And if he knew that it was the animal or cattle's milk that is being fed to him, he will love that cattle instead of its mother, because any young will follow after that which feeds him. This is why the baby sometimes loves its nurse more than it loves its mother. It is because the baby's nurse feeds and cares for it." Let me stop there. Here, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad explained to us, not only did he lose a sister, he lost a nephew through canned milk. In my generation, I'm 58, about to turn 59 in a few months, but in my generation, they had Similac and Enfamil and things of that nature, those types of canned milk. So the manufacturers refined the canned milks to make it more safe for the baby to drink, if you will. So we're going to go through some original and divine direct teachings by Messenger Elijah Muhammad on milk. There are many brothers and sisters that think they know better than the law of God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. And they erroneously think that because they have more data, more access to information, that they understand or comprehend that which they are reading, seeing, and hearing better than the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the first, last, and only messenger of Almighty God, Allah, in person. I want you to pay close attention, not to me, but to the quotes that I'm going to share or echo for you directly from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I have been teaching this for over 40 years now, and I have always taught that the Supreme Law God came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, and that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his first, last, and only messenger. But I also explain to our people that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the devil is the devil regardless of place or time, and that every time you look at the black man, you are looking at God. So let's take the spooky stuff away for a moment and let's get into some of the context. Before I delve into this, I want to first look at the present. Our present world order is structured where we know intuitively, instinctively, intellectually, politically, we live in a capitalist and pluralist world where there's money to be made, there's money to be made. Many of our people don't understand that things today are not as they were 50 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 years ago. So things that were permissible, things that were logical, have to be modified. We have to modify our mathematics. The messenger teaches us that he wants all his followers to be tops and modern. In this day and time, you have cows. I live in the state of Pennsylvania, for example. There are cows that are on earth today that was not on earth 1,000 years ago. There are cows on earth today that was grafted right here in the state of Pennsylvania. And many of those cows that was grafted are made by farmers. They're pretty safe to use for milk. See, when a cow eats grass, natural clean grass, I'm not talking this polluted environment. I'm not talking pesticides all in the grass. I'm talking about just a cow just eating regular grass. This is how nature intended it. Say you got a cow and the cow was eating some grass. You know, the Bible calls it a cow cheweth the cud. You know what I mean? It cheweth the cud, or it chews the grass up and it swallows the grass. And when it swallows the grass, unlike human beings, when a cow swallows grass, cows have two stomachs. So when it goes into one stomach, it gets processed in there. And then it goes into the other stomach, and the calf or the baby cow by nature is supposed to come and suckle on the mother's udder or breast and get the milk or the nutrients and vitamins and minerals from the mother that got it from the earth. Now it's going to go into the baby, and the baby going to grow up to be a strong 1,000, 2,000 or more pound animal. Human beings drinking that same milk genetically, biologically, are going to alter that DNA. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live, book number 2, 1972. Pages, I'm going to read it for you later. It's page 64, for example, 74, 111, 134. He teaches us that by nature, we are vegetarians. He explained to us that by nature, we were designed not to eat animal flesh. That's the black people by nature. But he also explained to us that by circumstance, through chattel slavery, we had to go in survival mode. When there were earthquakes on the planet and forest fires and heat waves and droughts and floods and blizzards and ice ages or what have you, human beings did what they had to do in order to survive. We do not consider that a sin. We do not judge that. I mean, it's not a sin to drink milk. It's not a sin to eat some steak or some fish or some chicken or whatever the case may be. Your niyat or your intention is what should be respected. If you're trying to feed your family and feed your children, and a person tells you, you shouldn't eat pork, you shouldn't drink milk, you should be a vegan, you should, and they not paying none of your bills, and they not exchanging your pork chops for some steak or some chicken or some fish or some salad or something, you are in your rights, your human rights, your God rights, your goddess rights, your godling rights, to look at them like they crazy. I mean, black people in the wilderness of North America was eating soul food when Master Fard Muhammad found us. In the 1930s, in 1929, Wall Street collapsed. By 1930, our people were in the bread line and soup lines. The messenger himself was digging in trash cans like a homeless man, getting old leftover vegetables, trying to make a stew for his family to survive. A lot of our people simply could not afford luxury foods. The government saw the dire circumstances of even white people in the United States of America. And they started relief. And relief transformed to what we call welfare. You see? To this day, our people is like, yo, man, I would not be able to eat if I didn't have my WIC card. There's mothers that's like, I'm thankful that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's easy for someone of privilege, those born with a silver spoon in their mouth, those that, you know, came down, you know, spiral staircases growing up, they can't relate. They don't understand the hardship, the trauma of surviving in the hells of North America. So this is not an attempt on my part to judge anyone. I respect our brothers and sisters that's in the vegan community, and I respect our brothers and sisters who drink milk. The messenger teaches us in 17 ways to split Islamic culture, judging is for Allah. If you must judge, let them judge themselves. He told us, do not look on the bad side of a thing that appears bad to us. There's always a good side. It's better to take that side. He taught us that same lessons. Actions are judged by intentions. Actions may appear wrong, but motives bring rewards. What is your niyat? Niyat is the Arabic word for your intent, your intentions. What is your intention? You be like, my intentions in giving my baby some Similac or some Enfamil is because I suffered some trauma growing up in the hells of North America, and the mother may say she's strung out on heroin and fentanyl, and she has all this dope in her body, and she's pregnant by some trick. God forbid. But it happens. I don't know. I've been down Kensington and Allegheny. I know what it looks like. I've been in trap houses. I know what they look like. I've seen addicts. I know what it looked like. Okay? Our people are trying to survive the hells of North, South, and Central America. Our people are not alone. There are people that are trying to survive in India, in Africa, in China, all the way up in the North Pole. There are people trying to survive on the islands of Cuba and Jamaica, and the Bahamas, the Canary Islands, in Australia. There are people trying to survive in Europe, black and white. So we have to get up off these high horses and quit pretending to be holier than thou. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us in his last book, I'll Save as a Rob, in 1974, he said we should not pretend to be holier than thou unless we are really holy. Tell your family, ain't no holy people. You see? There may be good intent. We're in a struggle. We want our good outweigh our bad. But as a collective, we have to understand that our people are suffering. So here, if you have a mother that has all this synthetic dope in her body, and even though she's strung out on dope or meth or crack or alcohol or what have you, she still has love for her unborn and born children. And in that state of abject anxiety and depression, she says, no, I'm not going to breastfeed this baby. I'm going to give this baby, I'm going to go down to the WIC office. And I used to see the sisters lined up at the WIC office right there at Broad Nile in Philadelphia. We had a beach here. We had the Supreme Angel Center right around the corner. And we used to come out there and just get the sisters some food, a couple of dollars, talk to them, help themselves. Them sisters appreciated some Pampers. But them sisters would get some Similac and some Enfamil. And I knew some of them sisters. And when I counseled some of them sisters, they would tell me, brother minister, you don't understand. I just shot dope an hour ago. I'm going to shoot dope in a few minutes as soon as I get out of here. I can't give my newborn baby my breast milk. But I could get a baby this Similac and Enfamil that I got from the WIC office. And I used to tell the sisters, Allahu Akbar, sister, the goddess is still the greatest. You're still blessed. And those babies, those children, it's 2023. I know some of them. They're alive, they're healthy, they're strong. You see? Because in that state at that time, she knew intuitively, her motherly instinct, her self-accusing spirit said, no, I can't breastfeed this baby under these circumstances. And here she is today, not all of them, some of them, off the drugs, off the alcohol, got herself together, got her a job, got her own little business, children happy and healthy, working, going to school, doing that thing. Her niyat, or her intent, was good. So I couldn't judge. I couldn't look on the bad side. I was going, listen, sister, you should drive fast. You need to leave the drugs alone. Just say no. And she's like, man, she ain't trying to hear that crap right now. Not with all that poison in her system. She like, you talking nonsense. Let's keep it real. Real people do real things and experience real hell on earth. And we're going to go through some things because I have to quote Messenger Elijah Muhammad because for some reason, a lot of people, they take a quote from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and just run with the quote. You can't go with the messenger quote. You got to go by the messenger's teachings. What does he consistently teach? You see, because you take a quote could be taken out of context. He can say something that's absolutely true and correct for that time and that day and that period of time. Somebody be like, okay, what time is it? It's 8 o'clock. And 3 hours later, they be like, it's 8 o'clock. I'd be like, it's not 8 o'clock. Be like, what you mean it's not 8 o'clock? You told me it was 8 o'clock. Yeah, 3 hours ago I told you it was 8 o'clock. The mathematics changed because of the motion, the time. It's 11 o'clock now. Wait a minute, you just said it was 8 o'clock. No, I said it was 8 o'clock because you asked me 3 hours ago. You hear me, but your comprehension, your awareness is not where it should be at. You see? It's not that I was lying to you when I said it was 8 o'clock. The only real time is now. There's no past, there's no future. The only real time in our universe is now. Now is the only real time, fam. I want to read something from How to Eat to Live, book number 2, page number 18, from Messenger Elijah Muhammad. And these quotes, I know you'd be like, I read that book before. I ain't trying to hear that. Listen, fam. Make sure that you subscribe and share this information. Of course, the devil going to do everything to mathematically sabotage it. I'm not worrying about the devil doing his and her job. I'm more concerned about the gods and goddesses doing our job. That's all we got to do. You see? Success don't depend on numbers and likes. I mean, you know how many people like the Pope? You know how many followers the Pope got? We boast about 1 million man march. Pope get 1 billion man march. I mean, the Vatican be like, man, we ain't building a temple and a church in the Vatican. They like, we got Vatican City. They like, y'all black people talking about y'all trying to buy black. They like, we got our own economic system. The Pope like, we got our own economy. We print our own money. We got our own bank. You see? Real people do real things on the face of the real planet Earth, covering 196,940,000 square miles. So these quotes, I'm going to just read them as the messenger gave them. Then I'm going to highlight a portion of what he said, just so that you can, magnify it, like, oh, damn. So that it won't be taken out of context. See, that's really what the problem is. If you read the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it'll be clear to you. He's already saying what we're saying. If it's something good for black folks, he already taught it. If you think that you know one good thing for the oppressed people on the face of this planet, Earth, that was not covered by the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, email it to me and I'll send you the quote where the messenger already taught that. He taught that in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. For 44 years, he served our people. Okay. we're going to go to page number 18. The messenger says, and I quote him, "Do not try to eat so many different things. One or two good things are all right. Even just milk and bread. But it has been tampered with. It is hard to get a pure glass of milk. It is hard to get a pure piece of whole wheat bread. They tamper with everything, without any just cause. So, do the best you can and eat one meal a day. You will live longer." Think that over, family. Think that over. The messenger teaches us, do not try to eat so many different things. All right? See, if you study nature, you study the whale, the shrimp, the clam, the crab, the eagle, the hawk. If you study the ant, if you study the squirrel, you'd be like, yo, nature gives the creatures on her surface balance, ma'at as we call it, a system, a formula. She tried to make it as efficient as practical. Why? Because the first law of nature is self-preservation. To preserve the life force, we need to keep it simple. Now, as we become more sophisticated and complicated, we start importing and exporting. But if you live in Philadelphia, you never in your life seen an orange. You never in your life tasted a pineapple. You see? We don't have mangoes and coconuts and things of that nature there in New York or, So we live in a world that is getting smaller and smaller, not physically, but technologically. Artificial intelligence, mechanics, the ancient people of Africa and ancient Kemet or Egypt, they developed the wheel and the pulley and the gear and the incline and decline. And the Asiatics from the Tigris River, the so-called Anunnaki, they were not aliens, family. Aliens means people from outer space as the secondary definition. The first original definition of an alien is simply someone from across the border, a foreigner. I mean, you ask President Trump, former President Trump, that's his thing. The Mexicans coming across the border, they're illegal aliens. I mean, they're not coming from outer space. They're coming across the border. The border don't exist. The border was man-made, white man-made. Mankind made borders, set that up like that. Imagine that. Imagine colonizers, imperialists coming from Europe, coming over here into the islands and, South America, Central America, North America, and the Native American Indian, the people who was living here for over 16,000 years, according to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. Black people been here, according to the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for over 66 trillion years. You see? We had tribes that migrated all over the planet Earth. But the planet wasn't back then like it is now. The Mississippi River didn't exist 20,000 years ago. Master Fard Muhammad taught us in our lessons that the Nile River is the longest river in the world. He said the Nile River is 4,690 miles long and 1 3/8 miles wide. But 50,000 years ago, we migrated from East Asia into that region. 1,000,000 years ago, there was no such thing as a Nile River. There was no such thing as a Reed Sea or a Red Sea. You see? The borders that you see today have always fluctuated. wars, different rulers, invasions, what have you, always change things. That's the law of reality. Change is a constant, you see? So the messenger, he explained to us that we do not believe that an alien is going to come down here to rule over us. We believe that we are wiser than the aliens out there. There's life forms out there. The best is like, we don't know if we could tell them, go bake some chicken and go to KFC and give them a piece of chicken or something. We don't know what they eat. I mean, but most life forms in the universe eat whatever that planet or that environment produces for them. Most life forms build houses out of the environment that they live in. If you're in the rocky area, you're going to see houses up in the caves. If you're around a bunch of trees, they'll be living up in tree houses. If they're in a swamp, they're going to be up on top of houses that's on top of the waters. If they live around sand, they're going to make houses out of sand. If they got tall grass or straw, they're going to make straw huts. If they got clay, they're going to make brick houses out of clay. They got stone, they're going to make stone houses. If they come to Pennsylvania and there's a bunch of trees everywhere, they're going to cut the trees down and they're going to make log cabins. That's the nature of all life form. I wouldn't care if it was an ant. An ant colony is going to build this colony in the dirt. Where is that? A bird going to grab little branches and make its nest out and be like, yo, this is going to be my home right here. This is where I'm going to chill and raise my family at. Out of the environment, we produce our living quarters. That's nature. That's intuitive in the smallest creature. Okay? So the real aliens are human beings. They're not from another planet. They're just like me and you. They have their own culture. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that culture is the outgrowth of knowledge at a particular point in time in history. So as knowledge increases, cultures change. As a minister, I would have to get on the soapbox. I have to get on the ladder. I have to get on the street corner. I have to go inside this building. Now I can speak to you through technology. The culture changed. So let's look at this again. Page number 18. Do not try to eat so many different things. One or two good things are all right. Even just milk and bread. But it has been tampered with. But it has been tampered with, family. But it has been tampered with. It is hard to get a pure glass of milk. It is hard to get a pure glass of milk, family. I remember when I was a little boy, we used to always joke, I got 3 sisters, my mom getting us ready for school, whatever. And, she would have some milk on the table for us, whatever. And, back then the commercials were showing how you drink the milk and you get the little mustache from the milk. Got milk, so you drink some milk. The milk was so rich. The milk was so nutritious. It's ridiculous. Now, it's ridiculous. Shout out to my childhood friend Earl. Me and him, we was on the gymnastics team. Those of you that ever did gymnastics know that's a grueling, disciplined sport. Me and my childhood friends, Kenneth Polk and Daryl and all of us, we learned gymnastics in North Philly, not by going to gymnastics school or to the gym. We used to flip on pissy mattresses. So people throw that dirty mattresses out with bugs and blood and piss, whatever on it. We flip on them joints. Oh man, and we got good at it. We used to walk on our hands. And we became so proficient on walking on our hands, we used to challenge each other. All right, let's go and see. We're going to see. All right, going to walk all the way down to the blue car down there. All right, come on. And it got to the point, that competitive nature, We literally used to intentionally learn not just to walk on our hands, but to walk on our fingertips. I would flip backwards off a car. Somebody else will flip backwards off the roof of the car. Okay. I'm flipping off the second story roof. Layout, roof. You okay? Full twist off the roof. We used to run, kick the wall, flip back. People used to look at us like, yo, y'all gonna get hurt. Yo, stop that. What is y'all doing? And they start planting seeds of doubt in our head. I mean, and it was like, you know, we can do anything we put our minds to. But once we start listening to the adults and, you know, the safety people, those that is real careful, we start doubting, like, dang, Mike can get hurt. I mean, you know, and sure enough, we started getting hurt, start getting injuries. I mean, but when we was younger, we was fearless. We didn't know what fear was. We didn't know we didn't know that you're supposed to be scared. I mean, when we trying to do flips, we didn't think like, oh, we can fall over and break our neck, break our back. But if we start thinking like that, now people starting to like, yo, get hurt. I mean, you know, but from me drinking that milk, not that it was some holy milk, not that the milk was the best thing in the world or whatever, but for my little black body, it helped because my bones were so strong and dense. When I got into school, the gymnastic teacher was like, yo, how this young boy, I worked the pommel horse so good. He like, yo, it was nothing for me. My wrist was so strong. It was nothing for me to do iron crosses, L's. And, you know what I mean? You know, I'm skinny in the mud, but you go on my Facebook page, look at my gymnastic picture. There's not an ounce of fat on me. It's pure muscle, fingers, arms, legs, stomach, everything. Because I was eating poison. I was eating pork, candy, but I was drinking milk. I was eating stuff that I shouldn't eat, that wasn't healthy, but at the same time, my mom was giving us vegetables and fresh fruit. We ate watermelon and things of that nature too. We ate fish and chicken. She may give us some pork. I was the type, like, I was finicky, so my thing was like, I wouldn't eat white bread. I never could eat white bread. Not because it was unhealthy. It's just that when I bit the peanut butter and jelly sandwich and the white bread stuck to the, So I never, anybody know me tell you, like, no, he don't eat, like, soft donuts, breads, cakes, pies, any mush. Nah, I don't eat half-cooked meats. Nah, it got to be well done. I mean, you know, and then when you start getting knowledge of self, you be like, yo, let me try this vegan thing. Let me try this 1 meal a day, this 1 meal every other day. Let me dry fast for 3 days straight. I mean, let me see if I could go 9 days without no food. You know what I mean? And those things, that experimentation with self helped. I mean, it helps balance out life. Now, I mean, you know, it's like FOI class is vigorous. We used to hold our own Nation of Islam Olympics. I mean, FOIs tell you that we had the Supreme Angel Olympics. Competition, running, sprints, weightlifting, pull-ups, one arm pull-ups. No, just one arm. I'm a gymnast, so, you know, when it came to the arm stuff, I got gold in that. Now, I couldn't run as fast as Daoud from Jamaica. I wasn't as strong as General Yaya lifting no weights and all that. Now, I mean, my legs too skinny. I'm too thin to win like that. I couldn't box like Brother Minister Khalid. I ain't getting in the ring with Khalid. He'd knock me straight out. So we had different gifts. But because we wasn't judgmental on making it obligatory. See, in Islam, forced faith is no faith. There's no compulsion in Islam. I mean, so as a minister, I was like, you know, we recommend this. We let the brothers know, look, we're going to go on a collective this. Oh, December Ramadan coming. We're going to eat. The message teaches us on how to eat to live. Book number 1. During Ramadan, don't eat no lamb meats. Know what I mean? Sorry, they little fish. But it's like, bro, minister, they serving all this garbage. I've been fasting all day. We exercising. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, I'm hungry. Be like, yo, it's nothing spooky. Go ahead and eat something. But it's Ramadan. Eat your suhoor meal. Eat your breakfast. Oh, we can eat breakfast? Yeah, just eat it before the sun comes up. How to eat to live. So the messenger teachings is not a cookie cutter teaching. How to eat to live is not designed where everybody's supposed to read this and eat the same way. It's designed for you to read this and take out of it what is the best way of eating for you. Now, if you're an elderly person and you got ulcers, you be like, I can't eat that spicy stuff. I can't, you know what I mean? You can't eat raw garlic because the message said you can eat as much raw onions and garlic as you like. You can't be running around popping garlic and onions in your mouth. You're going to hurt yourself. You see? If you're used to eating 3 meals a day, you can't be like, I'm going to go on a 3-day dry fast. You're going to hurt yourself. That's a sin in Islam. Allah desires ease and not difficulty upon us. You see? The message is saying how to live what? He said use gradualism. You see? So if you eat 3, you break down to 2. There's degrees with Allah. I just taught on that yesterday. We go from the fraction to the whole. That's Allah's mathematics. That's the reality. That's how we answer our own prayers, family. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, do not try to eat so many different things. 1 or 2 good things are all right. He didn't say only eat 1 or 2 things. He said they're all right because he's looking at it from a survival perspective. He's letting us know as soldiers of war, this is the war Armageddon we're living in. He letting us know like, yo, you know what I mean? Just like soldiers should try to get fresh fruits and vegetables and rest and drink some fresh waters. They like, listen, if you can't do that, if you got some dirty water, this is how you naturally filter your water. You get some sand, some dirt, put it inside the jar, you put it in your sock, you pour the water through the jar. Now I mean, you filter it out, get some of the, you boil it. Now I mean, be like, listen, you should be eating right, but if you can't, you got to eat these rations. I mean, get that dehydrated food, get that dehydrated stuff that under normal circumstances, you wouldn't eat like that, but you at war right now. Our people are at war. They are in survival mode right now. You see? Mothers and fathers, our children too. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings on milk is simply like, yo, mathematically, biologically, nutritionally, if you got some stone ground wheat toast, toasted darker than normal, you know what I mean? And you got you some navy beans with the pulse, with the skin still on the bean. I mean, that's a lot of protein in there. You got you some whole milk from a clean cow. You good. You good, family. I mean, you good. You can survive off of that. Not that navy beans is the recommended food. In the 1930s, it's the cheap food that's nutritionally sound and full of vitamins and iron and minerals that can sustain your life at a cheap price. You could take a pot of them beans. You go down in 2023, you could go to the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, and get you a bag of beans. You get your bag, you get a pound of beans for like $2, almost in any city in the United States. And you put that bag of beans and soak them and boil them and cook them things up. And you like in an emergency situation, you like, yo, I got a pot of beans. Be like, all right, look, take the pot of beans and put it in a pot twice this size and put twice the amount of water and slowly heat that up. And you're going to have 2 pots of beans. Everybody getting protein. Everybody, especially if you got the navy beans and some brown rice, some whole grain black rice, some dark rice, you got a complete protein there. You see? There's people in Africa, there's tribes in West Africa, they be like, man, for thousands of years, we've been drinking cow's blood, cattle blood, and drinking milk, and we healthier than a mother. What is y'all talking? Like they probably get sick if they didn't drink milk and drink blood. But they getting their survival on through the cattle. That's reality. You see? So in How to Eat to Live, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad goes on. I'm going to now turn to page number 20. He tells us, he said, vegetables, milk, and butter are the right foods to eat when they are pure. But my dear brothers and sisters, do not think that you are getting pure products now from the dairy. Substitutions are added to butter and much water is added to the milk. So the messenger is telling us, I'm going to read that part again. Let's look at this in context with the light of Islam. Vegetables, milk, and butter are the right foods to eat when they are pure. Now, in the How to Eat to Live, the messenger teaches us there's little pure food left on the market. All right? It ain't too many black folks raising their own cows and milking the cows and things of that nature there. All right? When they are pure. But my dear brothers and sisters, do not think that you are getting pure products now from the dairy. Meaning in this day and time, you might go to the supermarket and they got 2% milk, 1% milk, whole milk, it's all pasteurized, whatever. And I mean, they're not telling you that these cows, they're trying to make money off these cows. You know what I mean? In order for the cow to chew the grass and swallow it, and it to go to the other stomach and to chew the cud and get processed, they gotta do a lot of artificial stuff with these cows. Sad to say. It's pathetic. They inject these cows because they want them to get big real fast. You know what I mean? They want them to stay pregnant. They want them to have so many liters of milk in them because that's more money. You know what I mean? They want the milk literally dripping out of them. And the cows get sick. So then they got to shoot the cows up with penicillin and, try to get the cows some medicines just to keep it alive, just so they can make some money off the poor cow. So this is not pure milk. This is radioactive pulse and pus. It's like, no, that's not what we're talking about. But if we was in the Ukraine right now during the war and the village just got bombed and the children crying and the husband and wife is weak by famine, and they happen to come across some milk in a supermarket, you think they're not going to drink that milk? They come across a cow in the field, you think they're not going to drink that milk and eat that cow? They're going to do whatever they have to do to survive in that type of war situation. Now, here we are, after 500 years of slavery, suffering, and death in the hells of North America. And you're going to judge the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for teaching his followers to survive in the wilderness of North America? Let's turn to page 39. The messenger goes on here to explain to us. Every meal that we put in our bodies has some poison in it. And some of our food, as I have said in this book, takes 36 hours to digest. If we do not wait until our previous meal has been digested, we add a new meal to the previous meal, we have new poison in its full strength to aid the dying person of the previous meal, the dying poison of the previous meal, or to help it revive in strength, and we will continue to be sick. This I have experienced. I suffered sickness a lot of times through experimenting, so that you will not come and give me the wrong answer to the teachings of how to eat to live. I have self-experimented. I will know whether you are telling me the truth or not, but I will put my life on it. And if you make a habit of eating one meal every day or every 2 days and of eating the right food, you will not be sick. Only one day out of a year or out of every 2 years. And some of the complaints that you have now will completely disappear. By eating one meal a day, some chronic diseases will vanish in a few years as they fail to get the poison that will keep them alive. Sometimes they vanish within a few months. If you eat the right foods and eat only one meal a day or every 2 days, try it for yourself. So here, the messenger teaches us that he himself experimented with how to eat to live. And he explained to us that he wouldn't suffer the sicknesses and ailments that he suffered from if he would have been strict in how to eat to live as taught by Master Fard Muhammad. But he said he acts the fool sometimes. He don't be restrictive, in eating everything right and exact. And he's the messenger of Allah. I know I don't do it. I mean, my whole life, I grew up working in 2 grocery stores as a young teenager. At the age of 14, I was working in 2 grocery stores. I had access to all the candy, cakes, pies, and ice cream, sodas I wanted. When I went to school with like 30 packs of gum for the girls, Now Laters, Bub's Daddies. I had the squirrel nuts, the pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, whatever. Hot tamales. I had all kind of candy. Give it away, sell it, hustle with it, whatever. And, thankfully I didn't lose my teeth, but I ate a lot of poisons. One of the things that I benefited from was not just eating to live or eating the foods that Allah prescribed, but also by not eating at all. That was real difficult for me. Most people eat 3 meals a day. I was a gymnast. We was the type, we played roughhouse, played basketball, 18 hours nonstop. So it'd be nothing for me and my friends when the sun go down to go to the ice cream parlor and get a quart of ice cream and a dozen of donuts. And we wolfing it down, sugar and all kind of poisons. And even with all that garbage, because we was still eating vegetables, still exercising, still getting our rest, we was able to balance it out. We was able to balance it out. And that's the best you can do in this world. You try to balance it out. It's like you be like, well, I'm gonna get back into my vegan thing. Good. Okay, I'm on my vegan joint. I've been on my vegan joint for like 2 months. And it's like intuitively, instinctively, this America, I'm missing something. I don't know. It's like that that salmon, that grilled salmon smell gooder than a bug over there. I'm gonna get me some salmon. Because the fruits and vegetables are not going to give my brain and my central nervous system the necessary trace mineral B12. I can't get B12 from fruits and vegetables. You see? So you gotta learn to listen to your own body. I mean, some women be pregnant and they be like, I crave strange foods for some weird reason. Your body will tell the brain, yo, we need that iron over there. We need some iron in here. We need nitrates right now. We got too many nitrates. All them eating all them beef jerky, Slim Jims, stuff going to add a blood pressure, boiling cholesterol. You're going to die of a heart attack. I gotta slow down. Let me leave that crap alone. I mean, you know. So you judge you. You be a law. You be the God. You be the goddess. You be the godling. You know, it's strange when you walk in the supermarket in this day and time. And it's like we was just in there a couple of days ago, and I told my wife, I'm like, yo, it really blew my mind because it's like we don't buy cereal. I mean, but it's like just walking down the cereal aisle, I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, yo. It's like growing up, we had a couple of cereals. I mean, it was like certain staples was like shredded wheat, Cheerios, Corn Flakes, Rice Krispies. My grandma, my mom, those were the cheap cereals. We always had that in the house. As children, we wanted the Apple Jacks, Honeycombs, Captain Crunch. We wanted the sugary stuff. They got so much sugar on them shelves. It was so sad. It was amazing. I couldn't believe, like, I literally walked past a box of cereal called Little Debbie Swiss Rolls. I'm like, yo, they out of pocket. Because in the belly of the beast in America's prisons, the Little Debbie Corporation plugged right in to the prison system. They like, oh, Swiss Rolls, the little what's the name of them little things? I can't remember all that stuff. I used to eat all that crap at one time. I wouldn't overdo it, but it was pure sugar. But if you're in the hole and you're not getting no nutritious food, you're not getting, I'm the type, like, I don't use white sugar, for example, or brown sugar or honey. So I get my sugar from sweets, like some cookies or something like that there, But back then I would eat, back then they had Nutty Buddies, they had the Swiss Rolls, and oatmeal cream pies. Yeah. I know certain people laughing. You could tell who was in the belly of the beast. But that crap was crap. But it tasted good because it had sugar in there and that energy, like, okay. Now, I eat that. It's a drug for real. 230 quintillion, 640 quadrillion miles, circumference of our universe. Right now will be 238, 4 cycles, 15 cycles mile period. Now, who made the Holy Crown of the Bible? How long ago? You tell, man, we mastered lessons off that stuff. But then you come down off and you crash. Boom. It's poison. I knew it was poison. So I made sure I brush my teeth real good, floss. God, let's get this workout in. Let's get it in. It's raining outside. We can't go. Man, we gonna get in on the door. Everybody on the door. Come on. 1 for Muhammad, 2 for Muhammad, 3 for Muhammad, 4 for Muhammad. We live for Muhammad. We build for Muhammad. We kill for Muhammad. We die for Muhammad. Which Muhammad? Elijah Muhammad. Which? That's what we was doing. That's how that's how I came up. So it's a thing where, when life throws you lemon, you make your lemonade. It's the same thing with how to live, family. You take your circumstance and you look at the food and you take the best parts. You're like, man, all right, damn, we've been ripping and running, traveling, teaching all over the place. We ain't got time to cook. The food froze. All right, look, all right, we're going to stop at Wendy's. Wendy's got apple salads. They got apple pomegranate types solids. I remember shout out to the people's midwife, Sister Sasha. You know what I mean? She took me to one time to a fast food place, Chipotle's. I'm like, man, I'm not eating nothing in this joint. She's like, bro, man, trust me, you're gonna like this joint. She got me a joint. I'm like, yo, what's this? What's this? It's a vegetarian bowl with the guacamole, the tomatoes, the red onions. Okay, I mean, but it's like, it wasn't no holy food, but it was better than a quarter pounder with cheese. It's better than some Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's better than a Philly cheesesteak, and I love Philly cheesesteaks, but my cholesterol, blood pressure, I'll be like, I can't play with them like that. I go to Max's probably like Hodge. I mean, like maybe once a year, once every other year, whenever I'm in the city, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to Max's. I mean, but it's like, I'm not. We don't buy cheesesteaks at home. I mean, we don't have cheesesteaks in the refrigerator. But if I was to eat like that every day, I'd get sick. I mean, that mess around and kill me. You know what I mean? But because I know how to eat to live with common sense and balance, I'm able to extract the best parts. You know what I mean? Be like, okay, boom. We do keep raw garlic in the house. Now I do like to eat nutritious stuff. I mean, we do go to the farm and get organic. We do go to Produce Junction. I mean, we get some fresh fruits and vegetables and things of that nature there. I mean, so it's a balance that you have to have when it comes to how to eat to live. Now let's turn our attention to this milk situation. The messenger said, he said on page number 34, but most people like us to eat the inexpensive food because we do not have the finance to buy expensive foods that rich millionaires eat. So he prescribed for us dry navy beans, bread, and milk. Look at that in context. Master Fard Muhammad, July 4th, Friday, on a Friday, Jumar, Master Fard Muhammad comes and begins publicly teaching. July 4th, 1930. Our Savior, the Son of Man, the Mahdi, the Messiah, the Christ, the God of gods, the King of kings, the Lord of lords. Our nephew. And he see, okay, a few of us might have a little couple of extra dollars. A few of us may have a little more money than the others. But for the most part, black folks, we ain't got no money. I know. It's Instagram, you know what I mean, social media. It's easy to figure like we rich. Black folk ain't rich. Now, I mean, we struggle to pay our bills. Some bills just bigger than other bills, but we all struggling to pay our bills. You know what I mean? And those of us that are not, why are you not rebuilding the hood? Like, if you really got some paper, why are you not buying up North Philly and West Philly and South Philly and fixing that up? Why you ain't fixing up Miami? Why you ain't fix up Brooklyn? Why you ain't buy up Harlem? You ain't buy up LA, Los Angeles. You ain't hook up the hood for the people. It's like, come on. You just a 10% rich slave making the poor too then. All right? Let's turn to page 63 real quick. So here we seen in page 34, the messenger was showing the qualifier that most of our people can't afford the expensive food of millionaires. And Master Muhammad understood that, so he's like, all right, well, look, I can't tell them some stuff like, look, thou shalt eat pure spring water, and thou shalt eat organic fruits and vegetables grown out of the earth that you yourself grew with your own hands and sweat. It's like black folks ain't got time to do that. It gets cold in Detroit. It snows in Philly. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yo, we have to make do in Mississippi, Atlanta, Florida, in Milwaukee somewhere, Chicago. So he had to give us a balance, like, okay, some cheap navy beans, some brown rice, some stone ground wheat toast, some black coffee, your Akbar juice, you got your bean pie, you got your whiting fish, you got your garlic, your salads. Know what I mean? He like, I'm trying to give y'all some stuff that tastes good, is more nutritious, and our people in the 1930s, as a collective, many of us suffered obesity, diabetes, trichinosis, or pork poisoning, know what I mean? And when we came through the Nation of Islam and put in practice the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it restored life in it. You can look at fruit and MGTs like, yo, they look healthier than they did when they was eating that other stuff. I mean, so the proof was in the pudding. I mean, I definitely seen in countless brothers and sisters the benefits of them trying to eat to live. I never met anyone that could eat a perfect diet, but I knew brothers that ate one meal every 3 days for years. I knew brothers, I was a strict vegan for like 10 years straight. The only reason I stopped, I literally got so detoxed that it almost killed me. In this country, I mean, they import bananas. We don't grow bananas in Pennsylvania. So when the banana came, I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat the banana because I'm a vegetarian. And I peeled the banana and ate the banana, but I didn't know the pesticides was on the skin of the banana, and I didn't wash the banana, and the pesticides got on my hand. And when I broke that banana off and ate it, it swelled my lips and my throat up, and I physically almost died. The only reason I did not physically die is because part of our FOI training for years was when we go out on Saturday morning and work out, we used to do what's called breathing exercises. It's a military manual I wrote 40 years ago. But on there, we basically partner up, know what I mean? And somebody had that watch, we breathe in, and we hold our breath for as long as we can. And we slowly blow it out. And we hold that soul, we hold that rule, that breath of life, and we breathe it out. And our blood got oxygen. Like when I had my physical, my doctor was like, yo, your blood oxygen level is extremely well. I mean, but it's like, I used to, smoke weed and all this other poison. So I knew that I poisoned the body too, but I balanced it out because of Messenger Elijah Muhammad. I mean, and his teachings help. So even when I was in that dire situation where I had that allergic reaction, my blood was able to go into fight mode. Now I mean, and thankfully the doctor eventually, first she gave me a shot in my arm, it wouldn't work, then she had to give me this long needle in my thigh. And as soon as she did that, the swelling went right down. And when I had to see the specialist, they examined it like, yo, the doctor was like, listen, man, your blood, I'm what you call O positive. I'm what you call a universal donor, meaning my blood can clot with A negative, B, whatever. My blood can bond with any blood of anyone on the face of the planet Earth. I'm what they call a universal donor, if you will. All right. He was like, your blood is too clean. It's like you're the boy in a bubble. You can't stay on this vegan purity type of thing in this dirty environment, because not only do you have pesticides, any poison that get in you, because you're not inoculated by the other poisons, you're going to get sick. And I experienced that. So when I read How to Eat to Live, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained how he used to get sick coming home, trying to, adjust to the different foods out here. Know what I mean? I didn't ate enough poisons. I'm pretty balanced out now. I mean, but at one time we used to be supremely disciplined. Know what I mean? And that could be a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean? So you want to balance it all out. And Master Fard Muhammad, using his God wisdom, he was like, okay, let me just give y'all some simple stuff. I don't want to make it complicated. Now, I mean, I'm not telling you to eat this mushroom or this root or this berry or to import this. And you know what I mean? You over here, then that food is on the other side of the world. This food is on the island. This food come from the other side of the country. It's 3,000 miles away. You get an orange, it's going to have to come from Florida or come from California or something of that nature there. But you can't grow oranges in New Jersey and ship them to Delaware. Now, I mean, it's just not how that operates. So he's like, okay, we're going to give y'all a whole bunch of fruits, a whole bunch of vegetables. We're going to be like, if you do eat this, it's better to do it like this. So when it came to milk, the messenger even teaches us in How to Live. He's like, corn ain't good for you. I mean, corn is a survival food. You know what I mean? Grafted by the original people of the Americas. But, you eat that corn, your body can't really process it too good. He says, so if you eat corn, you should first put it in this milk stage. See, the messenger back in the 30s and 40s, old school wisdom there. Now, I mean, meaning take that corn, like smash it all up real good, put it in a blender, and it's what we call them in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s in the year 2000, 2023, we call it cream corn. Meaning, it's a lot of vitamins and nutrients in corn, but there's other things in there that's not too good for the body. Now, I mean, it's that hull of that corn, that plastic skin on that corn is not that good for the human body. So the messenger wanted us to be balanced out. So he's like, I'm not saying you should eat corn. Thou shalt eat corn. He's saying, if you do eat corn, it should be milk corn. Now, I mean, just like turn the corn into like a smoothie, and then you go ahead and eat that or drink that. You know what I mean? So it's all about common sense. It's all about using mathematics. You got to know when to add and multiply. You got to know when to divide and subtract. You see? Let us turn to page number 63. The messenger says, lamb is not a salvation meat for us. It is also as hard to digest. Though it is a little better than beef, lamb does not attract germs as beef, because sheep will not eat certain types of vegetation that cows will eat. Sheep are very careful about what they eat, like horses. Okay. The milk of these animals is all right to drink if their health is safeguarded against diseases, especially tuberculosis. Okay, so here the message is showing, he starts out explaining how beef is hard on our digestion. It is too tough and coarse. Lamb is not a salvation meat for us, meaning Muslims, especially during Ramadan, Muslims around the world, a lot of Muslims love lamb. I mean, I tasted lamb during Ramadan one year. Personally, I don't like lamb. As a minister that prepared countless December Ramadans, we had to buy lamb. Lamb was the most expensive thing in our budget. I was like, man, lamb is expensive. It's way cheaper to get some chicken, some fish, than some lamb. But we would get the lamb because some brothers love that lamb. Now I mean, you know, they like lamb chops or whatever the case may be. Poor lamb. Now I mean, thoughts of peace be upon you. Now I mean, because some things have to die in order for some things to live. Now I mean, but we only kill animals in the name of Allah. Now I mean, the messenger teaches us, you know, Muslims should eat what we call halal meats. And he explained that the Muslims' food is good for the Jews. So we can eat kosher food. Orthodox Jewish kosher foods. That's the Jews that don't eat pork and none of that. Now, I mean, you know, our Hebrew brothers and sisters, they don't use animal blood. Our Jehovah's Witness brothers and sisters, they don't do blood transfusions. Now, I mean, so it's a similarity there. It's a balance. Now, I mean, you know, in this, you know, if I came into the Id Fitr or the Id Adha, the message is saying Message of the Black Man in America in 1965. We had two great Id feasts. You don't hear a lot of FOIs talk about that, but the messenger talked about it. Now, I mean, but some brothers that have strictly vegetarian plates, some brothers that have lamb, some have fish, some have chicken, some have a lot of sweets. I mean, you know, it's like no one says anything to anyone like, yo, this is our Ramadan, this is our feast. Now, I mean, we just went through the month of December, trying our best to obey Allah and His messenger and, you know, observe that tradition in the nation of Islam. And it's like everybody just simply don't eat the same way, you know. And you know, like I used to think that something as simple as cherries and tomatoes, for example, was like basic food or whatever. But when we would serve the brothers during Ramadan, brothers would come to like, oh, no tomato sauce. That'll get me sick. I mean, brothers be like, yo, if I eat cherries, I'll die. Huh? Yeah. Some people are allergic to certain foods. So you can't just eat something because another brother or sister eats it. I mean, you come to the dinner table, you can't give the 3-month-old baby some milk and garlic and some navy bean soup. You can't give grandmom a slice of bean pie. She's like, I'm not eating that fattening pie. I mean, you know, wifey be like, I'm trying to lose weight. I can't be eating what y'all eating. I'm not eating no fried food. I'm not eating no fish and chicken and bean soup, and I'm definitely not eating no rice. I mean, you know, it's like, but in Hadith to Live, the messenger covers all that. He explained, like, you know, he asked the Savior about raw bread, and Master Muhammad explained to him, he said, it's okay if you're a hardy worker. He said, don't let an office worker eat raw bread. I mean, they not active, but a brother out there like Brother Minister Nadra, he a hard-working construction worker. He got to get his grub on. I mean, he burning calories. His metabolism scientifically is just going to be higher than someone working in an office, you know, just signing contracts or something like that, typing on a computer or whatever. Know what I mean? So you have to use what we call in our lessons in 24 Principles of Islam. The message said a Muslim is to use good judgment, discretion at all times. You see? So it's all about common sense. All right? Let's look at page number 89 real quick. The messenger says, quote, a sick mother's milk is better for her baby than a healthy cow's milk or any animal's milk. You may give your babies cow milk, but if you can breastfeed them yourself as nature intended, then you should do so. You will have a healthier baby, and a baby who, page number 90, will love you. When a baby is nursed on cow's milk, the baby may love the cow more than he loves you. Smile. Eat good food so that you will be able to give your baby good, pure milk. You can drink cow's milk. Your own milk glands will put it into the right stage for your child. Be careful as to what kind of drugs you take while nursing your baby. And do not take fasts while you are breastfeeding an infant, or even while you are pregnant. If you like, you may eat once a day while pregnant or breastfeeding your baby, but you are not forced to do so. You should not go for 2 or 3 days without eating. That's a profound statement. Let's look at some highlights here. A sick mother's milk is better for her baby than a healthy cow's milk or any animal's milk. See, you got other animals. Keep in mind, you got goat's milk, you got camel milk, horse milk, whatever. Any mammal produces milk. I mean, the original man, we have nipples too. I mean, but nature being efficient is like, we don't need the man to produce himself. We now have the womb of man or the woman to take care of that. Okay? So there's a science there. So the message is showing the common sense, like, okay, in nature, what is best? What's best is the only milk we should be drinking is the milk from our mama, our umi, our mothers. But in survival mode, it's not a sin to drink some cow's milk. That's it. That's the gist of what the messenger teaches us on this, okay? A sick mother's milk is better for her baby than a healthy cow's milk or any animal's milk. You may give your babies cow milk, but if you can breastfeed them yourself as nature intended, then you should do so. You should breastfeed your baby instead of giving the baby cow's milk, infant milk, Similac. I don't even know what all the milks they. In fact, I remember a couple of months ago with some type of shortage going on, and a lot of people was getting sick. But just because you breastfeed your baby, whatever, don't throw stones at another MGT if she can't breastfeed her baby. You see? There are women that have breast cancer. They be like, they may have had a baby, but they may have to have that breast removed. And you like, why she ain't breastfeeding? It's none of your damn business. You see? Not to be vulgar, but the Holy Quran teaches us, Allah don't like profanity or unseemly speech in the public. But it's perfectly okay, according to Allah in the Holy Quran, if you're suffering injustice. Ain't nothing spooky, family. Let me go on. You will have a healthier baby and a baby who will love you. When a baby is nursed on cow's milk, the baby may love the cow more than he loves you. Smile. I ain't saying smile. The messenger in the book says smile. He just telling a little joke. He had a sense of humor. You know what I mean? Let's look at page 128 now. On 128, he goes on to say, quote, but one thing that we should remember is that we can produce our own foods. If we can get into the earth to produce our own, good whole beans and good whole milk and butter is fine for us. And if we eat meat, do not make a habit of eating a lot of beef. Eat lamb and sheep as I have said time and again, that no meat is good for us, but we eat it. So that which we eat, try to eat the best of it. So the message, you're like, yeah, the vegan, vegetarian thing, as they call it in this day and time, the vegan, whatever. It's like, all right, that's cool. But keep in mind, it's taken to its extremity. If you don't have balance, let's say hypothetically, you had 100 people on the island, and all they ate was fruits and vegetables. Every generation didn't eat nothing but fruits and vegetables, fruits and vegetables, fruits and vegetables. Everyone on that island would become extinct. Everybody would die. Everybody will start having neurological problems because they're not getting B12. But the same people, if you put 100 people on an island and they're eating fruits and vegetables, but sometimes they eating fish. Sometimes they eating, now they getting B12. Now they getting all of the trace minerals that the human body needs. They eating certain seaweeds or whatever. Know what I mean? Sea moss or what have you. Now their immune system and their neurological system is adjusting and adapting to that environment. You come back 1,000 years from now, if it's no natural disasters, they stay good. They still, generations are still healthy. They still good. All right. So all it is the message teaches us in how to live. He believes in eating what they call a balanced diet. You know what I mean? It's just that we are eating what they call the SAD diet, the standard American diet. You know what I mean? Oils and fats and meats and processed foods and stuff that just literally just destroys the body temple or destroys life. Okay. Let's turn to page 141 in How to Live, book number 2 now. He says here, milk and bread are our best foods. Milk is our first food. Bread is next. Man has been drinking milk continuously throughout his life from cows, sheep, goats, camels, and buffalo. Since we still crave for this food and drink it, for after leaving our mother's breast, we go to the breast of cattle, the balance of our lives. We should raise these cattle under the most protected eye for their good health. So here he explained by nature where, first food, milk. Mama, know what I mean? She weaned the child for average like 2 years. All right. But human beings start drinking the milk of other animals, cows and buffalo, what have you. So the Native American Indians, the Arabs, the Africans, the Chinese, the Europeans, you'll find that people all over the planet Earth have been drinking milk for thousands of years, if not longer. Let's turn to page 1. Let me see. 166. He says, and I quote, the common food, just milk and bread or just bean soup and bread, is better than all the fancy food that you may try to eat. Eating good, common food will make you live a long time. This civilization intends to get us deaf and not long life. So eat to live and not to die. So the common food, basic stuff. Now I mean, it's like the vitamins and nutrients and minerals that's in staple foods like grains like stone ground wheat bread and navy beans, that pulse bean that come up out of the earth. That's in the Bible. To my Christian brothers and sisters, when you read about Daniel, the King Nebuchadnezzar and them, they wanted everybody to eat the king's dainty meats and like, yo, y'all eat the meats and drink the wine and all that stuff like that. But the 5%, the poor righteous teacher, Danielle and them, that they was in prison. They like, man, we ain't eating that crap. We don't eat pork. I mean, we ain't eating no swine. Nah. I mean, even if we got to starve to death, we not eating that crap. You know what I mean? So they gave a challenge. Said, I tell you what, you give us some of that navy beans, some vegetables and some fruit and some water, and see who's going to be in better health, us or these swine eaters over here eating these chitlins and big feet and fat back and bacon and all that other stuff. They see how that cholesterol levels and that blood pressure get eating all that stuff. Know what I mean? Compared to those that eat some milk and stone ground wheat toast and some navy beans. We could do that in 2023, fam. I mean, it'd be like, I could go down in the hood, be like, yo, give me 99 brothers that's 58 years old like me, and let's do push-ups. Let's run. Let's do crunchies. Let's do some sit-ups. Let's box. Let's do some martial arts. And see who physically is healthy. You want to intellectually spar? I mean, all right, point to anything in the universe. Let's build. You want to build in the cipher? I mean, we could do that too. Because the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad works, you see? And those that you find outside the Nation of Islam, and there are countless brothers and sisters outside the Nation of Islam that are in better health than me, stronger than me, wiser than me. But when you study them and see what's working in their life, you'll see that we have a parallel teaching. Theirs may be Pan-Africanism. They may be Hebrew Israelites. They may be 5%ers in the Nation of Gods and Earths. They may be with Salas Muhammad. They may be with Farrakhan. They may be with Jeremiah Shabazz. They may be Christians or Catholics or Jehovah's Witness or what have you. You see? But the truth is always the truth. It just may be in a different language. It may have different rituals, different signs and symbols. The messengers show the comparative religion by simply explaining how to live. The Muslims can eat the food of the Jews, and the Jews can eat the food of the Muslims. Same thing, just in a different way. Kosher, halal, same thing, same inference. All right, let us move on. Let's go to page 167. He says, eat 1 meal per day and nothing between meals, not even the drinking of milk, pops, or juices. You must not eat or drink anything between meals. So basically the message teaches us, it's not really an issue of those that drink milk versus those that don't drink milk. I mean, you got those that don't drink milk that'll be unhealthy. And you got those that don't drink milk that'll be healthy. And you got those that drink milk that'll be healthy. And you got those that drink milk that'll be unhealthy. That's just a fraction or portion of how to eat to live. That's a portion of the whole. Okay. So the messenger main thing is, the main focus is really not, are you a vegetarian or do you eat fish? Do you eat red meat? Do you eat chicken? I only eat fish. I only eat eggs. I don't eat eggs. I don't eat chicken. I don't eat fish. I just eat cheese. You eat cheese? I don't eat no cheese. I'm strict vegan. It's like, come on, man. I mean, do you? Be like, oh, homie, that works for you? Cool. I mean, now, if I see some pork on your plate, I mean, you're like, yo, my bro, you know that's swine and that's ham. I mean, but I remember years ago, coming from Philadelphia, I personally never in my life heard of or seen turkey ham. So I remember one of the brothers, he had some turkey ham on it. I'm like, oh, wait, swine. He's like, nah, oh, that's turkey ham. I don't care what kind of ham it is, bro. What the heck is you doing? He's like, nah, turkey ham is from Turkey. I'm like, hold on. I grew up in a Baptist household. My mom made Thanksgiving turkeys ever since I was a baby. And my dad used to have the electric knives, and he would let me carve the turkey. I seen every part of that turkey. Nothing in that turkey was pink. No pork was in it. I seen the white meat, the dark meat, the wings, whatever. My mom even would take the turkey neck bone and put that inside the collard greens. But it wasn't no turkey ham up in there. You know what I mean? And he explained to me, he was like, nah, you know what I mean? And when I got the mathematics, it's like, oh, it's not pork. You know what I mean? So some brothers, eat turkey ham. You know what I mean? Now, even though it's not pork, it's a lot of salts and nitrates and different other things for a black man that can still be worse, just as bad as pork. I mean, but it's like, if a brother was sitting on death row and he was in a hole and he can't go get his food, he can't go buy his food, they bring the food in a slot, they unlock the pothole and put your tray in there, and that's all he got. You're going to eat this crap or you going to die. And he like, okay, I'm not eating no pork. They ain't even going to put pork on. They got a non-pork tag on the door. They know not to bring no pork in there, you know what I mean? But they bring some turkey ham. They made French toast out of white bread. They got some turkey sausage. He like, normally, and Pop, I don't eat this crap. And at home, I wouldn't eat this crap. If I had some money, if I had the freedom to get my own food, if I was still in Africa and could hunt my own food and grow my own food and gather my own food, I wouldn't eat this crap. But under these circumstances, it'd be no one's business if that brother ate to survive. So you have how to eat to live, but you have to eat to survive too, family. You have to do what you have to do in order to survive. So you the one that have to make the judgment call on all that kind of stuff. I, as a minister, can't get all up in your business telling you like, oh, you just, don't go like that. Know what I mean?